See. Hey, we're back with Moms in Timeout. I'm Sarah Parise, your host, and today I'm joined with Nicole Leon. She is a virtual assistant turned into her own company of virtual assistants, helping moms find the space to have their career and still balance it all. She's got a little boy at home. She works from home. We were just chatting what mom life looks at like owning a business, and we're going to uncover all of it today. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I love the first time we connected. So you're in Florida, I'm in North Carolina. So this time of year, drastically different. But
Oh
our
yeah.
stories are very similar. Like we went into business on our own by ourselves, and we wanted to make sure it adapted to our families. We wanted to make sure that it fit what
Yeah.
we wanted to do as moms and what we wanted to do as business owners. So how did you get to where you are today with your business?
So I actually started, I have to look at the calendars. I'm like, oh my God, the time is flying. The years have flown by, but I started my journey into entrepreneurship 6 years ago. And I started as a lash tech. It was an at-home lash business, which I still have and operate.
Mhm.
And that's how I got into the space of like being self-employed and working from home. So it's been 6 years since then. And then basically, I mean, it was very successful, did great. But then when I decided to start a family, I just figured like, okay, well, I need to hone in more on my other skills and develop my other
Mhm.
business, which I had started a few years after, which is my current business, Leon Virtual Assistants. But I just knew that being pregnant and lashing and then having the baby and lashing would be a little more difficult. So I decided to just take this business, to its full potential and
Mhm.
really just kind of just hone in on that and focus solely on that. And I was able to scale it to, a six-figure business in under a year's time, which I didn't even know that that's what was going to happen. And it's been such a blessing to be able to work from home, be present for my child. I went on maternity leave actually like a day before I gave birth because I had the ability to work on my phone or work from my
Mhm.
phone, work on my laptop in the hospital. Like I'm like, whatever, I might as well.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have
Pass the
had
time
that.
somehow.
Right. Yes, because I was in labor for days actually. Um, but have the ability to do that and the flexibility. And I started sooner than most. Like I think I was 2 or 3 weeks postpartum.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, I need something to do outside of just caring for my son because I was going stir crazy.
Mhm.
And I was able to just send a couple emails a day. And so I'm super grateful that, I was able to scale it and maintain it throughout this whole first year of motherhood because my son is, he just turned one. And, I didn't know what that was going to look like, but yeah, here we are.
Well, and congratulations, because that's a huge milestone. I always say that I'll never get a 1-year-old a birthday gift, that I give a gift to the mother because they deserve the gift more than the child does at that point. So that's super exciting. So tell us a little bit more about your business that you have now. I mean, I know you still have the lashing, but what you do with your virtual assistants.
So, a few years back, I miss the admin space, like the corporate America space. But I left that space because I just couldn't deal with like the office politics, and it just was, unfortunately, my experience was very toxic,
Mhm.
which I know a lot of people can relate. And so I wanted to rewrite the narrative of what it looks like to be a woman in the working world.
Mhm.
And I was told countless times that I was too emotional, was too sensitive. And so I wanted to rewrite that. I'm like, I can have a successful business or I can be successful and be a woman and have emotions. Like just because I'm an emotional being doesn't mean that I can't function, like a normal person.
Mhm.
And so I use it to my benefit, and that's how I started my other business. But then throughout that, I'm like, I really miss that realm or that space. So I'm like, I started kind of freelancing here and there, taking clients as a subcontractor. And then again, last year when I was pregnant, I'm like, okay, I need to take this full force. Well, 2 years ago, and then a year ago, I decided to make it my full-time business.
Mhm.
And so I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
That's
Mom
okay.
brain.
No worries at all. Totally normal, especially on this podcast. What specifically do you do with your clients now?
Okay, yes, that's where I was headed. So with that said, I missed it and just little by little started offering like simple like email management, like client facing things like taking phone calls, managing the calendar. And it's grown into something so much bigger than that. I wasn't expecting it to, but it's turned into coaching, social media strategy, social media management, team building and team and morale boosting events. And you know, it's really grown into a huge thing. And it's tapped in, you know, I've been able to tap into a lot of, you know, my different talents and things that I'm passionate about that I wasn't able to when I was actually in the corporate world.
Hmm.
So yeah, anywhere from admin things to higher level, like strategic, business operations, strategy management, things like that.
And I love, especially the first time we chatted, of like where it began and where it is now. And you're,
Yeah.
as a business owner, been able to adapt and adjust and kind of create it the way that you want it, that still works for not only your business, but also your family, which I think is so
Right.
incredible.
And I love the ability to be able to choose who I get to work with. Like I don't, if someone doesn't align with like my core values or my mission, like I don't have to work with them. And that was huge for me. And like when I was working and I worked in corporate America for like 10 years,
Hmm.
you know, you rely on someone for a paycheck. So you're like, well, I have to deal with this. I have to deal with this type of treatment. I have to deal with these kinds of personalities where now I have the ability to say, you know what, like we're not a good match. So I don't have to. And that's
Hmm.
great for me and my mental health.
Absolutely. And just the ability to set those boundaries
Yeah.
in your own space and time.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how have, because your son just turned 1. So how have you, I'm sure there's a lot of listeners who are like, what are you doing? Like, are you kidding me? Like you've done this in all the first year of his life. How do
Mm-hmm.
you find that somewhat of a slippery slope balance of being at work and being, because we talked about the support system when we first connected. And
Yeah.
I know that's a huge piece of it, but how are you able to balance it?
So honestly, it is just a juggling act. When he was first born, like I said, obviously there's not much going on, you know, there's the feedings and that's pretty much it. But then, you know, the crawling and the walking and all those things. So obviously, thank goodness for my support system. I'm like 10 minutes away from all of my family members. So my
Mhm.
boyfriend's mom, my sister, my brother, like we're all super close to each other. So I have the
Mhm.
village to help me. But really it's just some days look like, you know, he's with his grandparents and I'm able to work, you know, uninterrupted for X amount of hours. And
Mhm.
sometimes he's in here destroying my office and I'm working and doing what I need to do. Some weeks I'm working around the clock. Some weeks I have a lot more flexibility. It really
Mhm.
just depends. And I think it's important, and this is what I teach my students, which we'll get into that later,
Mhm.
that it's not like cookie cutter, you know, and it's not like a one size fits all. It doesn't always look perfect and it doesn't always look, you know, and it's not always easy.
Mhm.
But the importance is that I have a choice. So some days I choose to just completely hone in and I'm like, hey, someone please watch my son because I can't do this today. And
Mhm.
some days I'm fine with him running around, you know.
Yeah.
But it's the choice that I have, which is
Mhm.
important. But also, again, the village that I have that, you know, has supported me.
Which is fantastic to have,
Hmm.
not just like the proximity, but the number of people that you have that are willing to help.
Right.
It's amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about your students.
So, this was a God dream, honestly. I had been asked multiple times, like, I want to learn, you know, what you do. And I'm like, well, I'm a new mom now. I don't have time. You know, I was very much like, oh my God, please do not add another thing to my plate because I own multiple businesses. I like to consider myself a serial entrepreneur. And I'm like, oh God, not another thing. But then I locked arms with my business partner, who is also a mom of three. She's 29 and she has three kids. And wow, she's killing it. But we
Going from an older mother, that's phenomenal.
And she has a virtual assistance business as well. So we decided to lock arms and we're like, you know what? We're moms and this works for us. Like, it would really be amazing for us to teach other mothers, like, how to do this, how to work from home, how to have the ability to be home with your family. And like I said, it's not always perfect. Like, granted, I'm a work from home mom, I'm not a stay at home mom. So
Mhm.
my focus and attention isn't on him around the clock because I obviously have to work.
Mhm.
But the ability to have him here is, you know, that's just something that I choose. I know not every mom, you know, other work from home moms have them in daycare. That's just my choice. I like
Mhm.
to have him here.
Mhm.
So we're like, why not just open it up and really just kind of see, you know, who's interested, who's not. And our first course, we had 14 students, which I
That's
did not
amazing.
expect. And I think all except for one our mothers. So
Mhm.
we really just got into, you know, basically literally grassroots from beginning to end, like how to actually start and register a business all the way into like branding and how to how to secure clients, how to retain clients, like mission statements, your values, your, vision. And it
Mhm.
was amazing. But, what I really found to be most valuable to me, and I'm sure to them as well, is just the ability to show other women like you can take control of your life and your finances. Like
Mhm.
you have the ability if it's what you want.
Mhm.
And so it's amazing. We had women, I never tell anyone to quit their job. I'm like, keep your job, just like let's gradually get there because obviously,
Mhm.
in the economy and stuff. But we had moms that are like, I quit my job and they ran real, full force with it and they already have clients like in a 6 week
Mhm.
span, which was just so rewarding for me as a business
Mhm.
owner and as a mom and a woman myself. To be able to kind of lock arms with other women and help them and guide them into what, their definition of success means.
And what a powerful kind of transition also, because I know a lot of the moms that I coach and that I work with are stay-at-home moms or work from home moms, and they want to get back full into the workforce again. And what a great way to do it on your own terms,
Yeah.
to be able to take a course and learn all what you need to learn, just that foundation. And I'm sure very empowering to see other women going through the
Oh
exact
yeah.
same stage, no matter if you've been home for 6 weeks, 6 years, or 16 years,
Yeah.
that we can do this. Because I know when
100%.
we chatted, like, this is not the journey that I thought I would take. Yeah, like having my own business, especially in the online space, having my own
Right.
business, yes, but definitely not in the online space. Thank you, COVID. And kind of shifting things, but it has gone in a direction that I would have never guessed. And I'm sure for years when you started your last lash company, it's like, did you think you were going to do also another company? Like you considered yourself
Right.
a serial launcher, like
Hmm.
entrepreneur. I love that term. Of just, what other businesses can I build? So I love
Right.
that you're just keeping your options open. You're giving moms other opportunities, maybe that they never even thought of
Right.
to do this. And to have a cohort that big the first time through that course is incredible.
Yeah, it's just been so rewarding for me. I especially again like I don't know if I said this, but I never wanted to be a mom. I actually thought that I would always be the cool aunt. And then when motherhood hit, I'm like, well, I don't even feel qualified to even contribute into the mom space because I'm new here. I'm like not only as a new mom, but like the whole just like everything that entails like being a mother. That
Mhm.
didn't hit me until months before I decided to start a family. So I'm like, I don't even feel qualified to speak into that, kind of
If it makes you feel better, I always wanted to be a mom, and I equally am not qualified. Even now, having years in, I'm not qualified.
So when we started this, I'm like, this is my in, like this is my way to contribute to the moms of the world. And so it's just been equally rewarding, I think, on both ends and mutually beneficial because I'm also learning from
Mhm.
these moms as well, like how powerful and how just strong us women are and moms are. Like we're superhuman, I swear.
It truly is that superpower. And it doesn't matter what kind of route you choose, whether you stay home full time, you work
Right.
part time, or you never leave the, corporate setting and you have that and you have that kind of balance with things. But knowing that it's not permanent.
Right.
You can change your situation. You can change what you're doing. Like you said, you were in corporate and it was toxic. I can't tell you the number of women that I have on the show that are like that's their story, regardless of where they were. They're like, it just was a toxic environment. It was terrible for my mental health. I needed to do something else. And for some reason that is magnified when you become a mother. It is like,
Oh
I
yeah.
cannot have someone else taking my mental strength because this little
Yeah.
human needs all of my mental
Oh
strength.
yeah.
So you made it work for you and your family, which is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So if people want to learn more about the course, where can they find you? Where are you the most active?
So I am most active on my personal Instagram, which is Nicole Leon XO.
Mhm.
But I'm also, oh, my son is banging on the door.
Perfect
Uh,
timing.
but the other Instagram that I'm active on, which is specifically catered to our virtual assisting course, is Simply
Mhm.
Virtual Community. That's our
Mhm.
Instagram for that. And if anyone's interested, there is a link that they can click, and it's just like an info sheet where they can give us a little more information about them. And then we reach out individually and we have one-on-one calls if that feels right. And then we
Mhm.
go from there.
I love it. Thank you so much. And if you're listening and you think you're just even entertaining it, reach out to Nicole. shoot her a DM, be like, this is what's on my horizon, and she'll have great insight for you.
Yes,
What your next
absolutely.
kind of steps could possibly be, because that's an exciting stage.
Yes, and I do just want to add that even if it's not to sign up for the course, I'm just always happy to lock arms with other women of all, of all paths and all journeys. I just am very passionate about that and supporting women in any capacity that I can. I have an all women's broadcast channel called the Girlhood Collective where we talk all things like finances, motherhood, anything in between, anything that entails being a woman. So that's a place where you can find me as well.
I love it. And a special shout out too, as we're recording this, we're in the middle of the Healthy Holiday Challenge, our 12th
Yes.
annual, and Nicole and her company donated the grand prize for this
Yay.
one. So thank you so much. You have your hands in a lot of things, and the partnerships are endless, which I love.
Yes. Thank you for doing that, by the way. It's amazing what you're
Oh,
doing.
I'm so glad. It's honestly, it's like my favorite challenge that I run all year. And now that I'm partnering with other female founders, it's exponentially better.
Yes, so good.
Thank you, Nicole. Everybody go have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. Thank you.